What's up, everybody? This is Chris, and this is Barn on 11970. As always, I thank you guys and gals for taking the time to listen to what I have to say. And as you could see by the title of this video, I titled it Silent World. The reason I'm saying that is, I understand that in this world, at least the world I would love to live in, we could have people have differences of opinion, different points of view, different perspectives, things like that. And not have to have, in my opinion, it's okay to disagree. That's perfectly fine. People are going to see things in different ways. You could look at the scientific world in themselves. They have different formulas that some will agree with, some don't agree with. They'll have different theories, some agree with, some don't agree with. But you have to notice that people, they feel the need to attack others and hurt others. And now I'm not just talking about me. So this is not a, oh, Chris is feeling sorry for himself kind of video, because I will never be that way. I'm talking about in general, because I spend a lot of time listening to other videos, listening to what people have to say, how they react, how they respond, and I'm seeing a pattern. I see it on the news. You're getting to the point. I was watching a little bit more Trump stuff today, and even he's calling out people, calling the media, a bunch of BS, which I give credit for. But it's funny, though. Why is it that we are becoming a society where you want to gang up or hurt or insult somebody that has a difference of opinion? And I don't understand this, because unless you have done more than just what somebody else is telling you, just because something doesn't resonate with you does not mean that we should not communicate like an adult. See, I really feel bad for the future, for some, because eventually people are going to be silent. They're going to be silenced. People are so afraid to stand up. Now, I know the videos that I talked about are going to be, they're going to have some controversy. And that's okay, because if you're afraid to speak up with what you believe in, then you're never going to progress in this life. And again, I don't tell people how to think. Look at what the media does. Look what politics have done. Corporations do. They always say, this is the way you're supposed to think. The schools will say, this is history, instead of realizing it's his or her story. And we're supposed to just believe everything goes in one certain pattern. And if that's true, why is there so much variety in this life? Just look at religion right there just by itself. Are every religion right? Are every religion wrong? But yet you'll have people wanting to murder everybody and hurt other people. Look at the whole, just for example, Black Lives Matter. I can understand how that could be a good idea turns into something bad, because whether people ever want to admit it or not, Black society does get treated unfairly, especially when it comes to cops. Now, does that happen all the time? No. But so I can understand the anger and the frustration. But as they say in life, two wrongs don't make a right. You cannot say, in my opinion, that murdering of one group is bad and then go murdering someone else in another group. The feminist movement, I can understand women want to be treated more equal, and that's a perfect, beautiful thing. But for example, when I bring up the Ghostbusters movie, I haven't watched it, nor will I watch it, but I've seen many reviews on it, and they all say the same thing. It's all about bashing men, and how they use the Chris Hemsworth character as eye candy that's just dumb as a stump. Now, I've heard over the years many women upset with women being treated as objects, and that's perfectly legitimate. I can understand that. Women are just as human as we are, and they do have brains, and they do have thoughts, and they do have voices, and they should be heard. But then you cannot rally against a movie that's now doing what you don't like. now to someone else. And unless we learn, I'm not saying everybody has to agree with what I say or what somebody else says, what anybody says. You don't. This world is not supposed to be about, here, follow what we do, follow what we say. You should be your own individual. What I'm saying is, if you don't like something, don't hurt the other person or attack the other person and gang up on another person just because you disagree. And I see, the biggest thing I see is the majority of people use, oh, it's just a joke. Well, there have been people that have been murdered because some people may not see what you do or say as a joke. There are some very interesting people in this world that can become very violent, and especially over the internet where they hide. I'm not worried about it. I will always speak my mind and say what I feel is right. Now, whether you agree with the videos that I posted the last couple of days or not, I cannot control that. But on the other hand, you're not going to convince me of what I believe in just because you have different numbers that you've been told. And there were some people that made some very good counter arguments, made some very good points. There was one of the subscribers says, I don't agree, but I agree with freedom of choice and freedom of speech. That's beautiful. That's what we should take from it. And it's not this whole overly sensitive, everybody's got to be like, oh, you got to silence everybody. No, there's a right way to do things and a wrong way to do things. Just imagine if you have a 5-year-old child, you're the parents of a 5-year-old child, and for the first time, they dress themselves, and they feel very special. They feel like, wow, I'm doing a grown-up thing. I'm dressing myself. I've been changed, diapers have been changed, and everything else has been changed. I'm finally doing it myself. I want to show mommy and daddy, look what I did. And it's the most horrific outfit they ever found. But they're excited because they actually did it themselves. Now just imagine if the parents said, hey, stupid idiot, what were you thinking of? What kind of fashion sense is this? Who dressed you, a blind monkey? You know, there's a saying in this world that I follow that states, just because you can doesn't mean you should. And this world, from what I'm seeing, needs a whole lot of growing up to do. It's just the ability to hurt others. And you have the right to do it. I'm not going to stop. And that's a beautiful thing about free speech. You have the right to do it. But that doesn't mean you should. How are we supposed to get along as a species when all we're conditioned to do these days is just anonymously insult and hurt others? Where are we going to grow any better? And you know what? If you're religious and you do it, you're definitely not practicing what you preach. Now, again, this isn't going to be a controversial video. It's not talking about doom and gloom or fear porn or anything like that. So I'm not going to get a lot of views in this, and nor do I care. Because like I said, the few people that come here that get it, that's who I care about. And because of my videos that I made the past couple of days, I lost like 6 or 7 subscribers. I'm very glad to see them go. Because if they're going to leave, no matter all the content that I have, if you're going to unsubscribe because of one thing you don't like, you're going to live a very disappointed life because not everything is going to be the way you want it to be. And it's just amazing how much people justify everything in their life instead of saying, you know, like for me, for example, I watch many videos. I watch lots of things going on. I pay attention to what I can in my, whatever comes to my world. And there are plenty of things I've seen it's like, oh, I don't agree with. But I'm not going to go attack somebody and insult them because I don't agree. I just say, oh, all right, I don't agree, and I move on. And I don't want a politically correct world either. It's just we got to learn some respect. Where did the respect go? I just, the insults that I got, I mean, like I said, it doesn't really surprise me. It's just that I see a bigger picture when it comes to things like this. Mark my words, there will come a day where your internet will be silenced. your ability to speak is going to be so monitored that you're going to be careful to say anything in this world, and it's going to become a silent world. I don't want that day. But if we cannot regulate ourselves, how are we going to get other people to take care of us? Because, like I said, I was listening to some of the Trump stuff today. I mean, just in politics altogether. I mean, they just found out that one of the advisors for Hillary, which she says she doesn't know that this happened, which is utter bullshit. But they found out all these emails saying that they were trying to discredit as much as they can Bernie Sanders so Hillary would win the election. And what does he do? He goes and endorses Hillary. It just makes no sense to me. And it's a slap in the face to all the Bernie Sanders fans who believed in his message. And for the majority of politicians, they're all sellouts. You give them enough money, they will listen to everything that you have to say. They will agree with whatever you have to say. Even Donald Trump today, he made 2 different speeches in 2 different states today. And he just changed the name of the state when he was saying some of those things that he was talking about. It was almost identical. And one of the things, you got to listen to the words. Like I said before, when they want to build a wall, it sounds great. And it's like, wave your flags and all that stuff. But walls keep people in as much as they keep people out. Here's another thing. He talked about the fact with the trades, or to keep businesses from leaving the United States. Like, for example, he said if they leave from whatever state he was talking in at that moment and they move their jobs to Mexico, what we're going to do is his proposal is to charge them 35% tax to bring the things in. And people cheered about that until they find out that their products are now 35% more expensive. Because if you think businesses are just going to absorb those costs, you are absolutely ridiculous. And this is why I'm not for any politician. Because in the long run, they only care about making themselves money at your expense. And people are so easily fooled. And my thing is, like, for example, when I saw those videos about with the moon, if it's 100% legit, I'll be more than happy to change my thought pattern. I've done it before. I am never locked into something unless I believe in it. But for somebody to just insult, just imagine if you went to school, and if you were the first time in math class, the first day of math, and they say, oh, what's the square root of 36? And you've never even heard what a square root is. So you don't know how to answer it. You look all dumbfounded. They say, Billy, what's the square root of 36? And they don't know what to answer because they don't even know what it is because they haven't been taught it yet. And the teacher goes, oh, you idiot. It's 6. What are you, stupid? You can't learn that? God, you're so dumb. You think any child would ever want to go to school again and learn anything? I mean, I don't understand people's thought patterns. There are people who commit suicide because of people who are only joking. And again, I am for free speech. But good luck going to an airport and screaming out you want to shoot people because you think that's a funny thing to say. Oh, I was only joking. Go up to a professional bodybuilder, a professional black belt champion. Go up to his face and call him an idiot or her an idiot. Only joking. Well, before you say those words, you probably have your head smacked in. We have to learn how to speak like adults, and maybe it's just bad parenting. Because let me tell you something. When my father was alive, and my mother's still alive, thank God, they always taught me to treat others the way I want to be treated. Now, that is not always easy. But I don't go around bullying people. I don't go around abusing people. I don't go breaking into people's houses. I don't do harmful things to people. Now, I can respond to what somebody else has done and even overreact at times, but taking responsibility for what you do, that's a good thing as well. People don't want to take responsibility anymore. Why do you think we're always looking for the next politician to save us? And again, now Trump is saying, oh, change. Well, like Obama once said, is it good change or bad change? we'll find out. So I'm not for Hillary, and I'm not for Trump. I like Trump in the sense that he at least calls the media out and says things in a different way. But ultimately, in the end, he's going to be joined with all politicians that he says are corrupt. So he's working for the Republican Party. They're not squeaky clean. But people just want to dismiss that because if you like them, you don't want to hear it. You shut off your signal and say, oh, I like him or I like Hillary, so you can't say anything different because it goes against what I believe in, so you're automatically wrong. And that means no matter what you do to show your own point of view, people don't want to hear it. Is there anything wrong with making your point across without having to insult someone? Don't you realize that puts people on a defense? Until we can learn to speak like adults, we're never going to grow up. And it's almost embarrassing. I'm embarrassed for these people that will go to people's channels and just get to the point where they threaten that they feel like their lives are being threatened. Now, I'm not going to say that happened today. Absolutely not. I mean, I could deal with some people. It's just ridiculous. I'm like, why can't they just make their point across without insulting? What is the purpose of that? How is that creating dialogue? You know, you don't see presidents as corrupt as they are when they're going to talk to other politicians. You don't see them name quote. Well, I guess when it comes to debates, I guess you can't say they don't do that. All right, bad example. But I don't know. I just feel so disappointed in this world where you have a right to your own perspective. You have the right to have your own belief, and others will want to hurt you for it. I mean, it's been happening for millennia, since recordings of time. When are we going to change that? How are we any different from the barbarians back in the days? Because we could speak more eloquently, we have computers, so now we can harass people in the privacy of our own home. At least back then, if you wanted to insult somebody, you had to do it face to face. Nowadays, you just hide behind a computer, make a fake profile, click a couple of keys, and you could make somebody want to commit suicide. You know how many people over the years have told me they wanted to commit suicide? If it wasn't for some of my inspirational videos, they would have. To think that somebody would do that. And I remember as a kid, I was really heavy. I was one of those kids that everybody made fun of. And that's a cool thing to do. But kids, that's one thing. Kids don't know any better. The only time I even get insulted at all is over the internet from people that hide behind a computer. As an adult, I never deal with that at all. And I deal with nothing but nice people. The internet is corrupting people. I don't know what has gotten into people, but like I said, just because you can doesn't mean you should. And again, I'm not talking about just me. I've seen so many people, no matter what type of videos they do, whether they're comic books, whether they're makeup tutorials, whether it's somebody just expressing their own belief system, it's other people feel the need to have to go in and say, oh, you're speaking? We can't have that. We got to stop that. We got to insult it. If I have a YouTube channel that has 50 million subscribers, we're going to get everybody to join on board. But, you know, I was only joking. So I guess this is kind of a rant video. But why is it so few can see the writing on the wall? And, you know, Trump is different as he is. You know, he's basically lying in the sense of when he talks about, oh, you know, there was no hitches at his convention. Well, watch some videos. And he gave the police a lot of credit. Watch the videos where there are Trump supporters that are walking out of the conventions. And Hillary supporters, or people, a lot of them who are carrying Mexican flags. That's not being racist, I'm just going by what I saw. That doesn't mean everybody was from Mexico, but there were a bunch of people that were carrying and wrapping themselves with Mexican flags, beating up these people. And I'm talking pushing and hitting women, too. To the point where there was one carrying a baby in a wheelchair, not a wheelchair, a stroller, pushing a baby in a stroller, and they were scared for their lives. And what were the cops doing? They were lined up against the wall while people were chasing after these people to beat them up. The cops didn't do anything. But good job on the cops. You know, the integrity is just diminishing. And people will get what they give. You know, I said a couple of days ago, I see some positive changes. And I still 100% believe that. But to make any kind of change, you know, sometimes for a door to be open, there has to be another door that closes. There's going to be some doors closing in the near future. A lot of those doors, people are going to be scared to death and not like what they see. That's just reality. Most people don't wake up until some kind of tragedy starts. It's because they didn't care enough to prevent it, and they'll pretend that they didn't see it coming. Writing is on the wall, people. And we can continue to fight amongst ourselves, attack one another, insult one another for the fun of it, for the profit of it, or just for out of sheer boredom. Or we can all focus on the people who are literally going to take away as much as they can from you. Because when they tell you, for example, they're going to lower taxes, all they have to do is raise the price of gas or some other thing that you need, so it just takes it from one area and puts it into another. They'll continue to manipulate numbers. They'll continually steal from you by devaluing the currency, so you need more of it to make the same purchases. They will try and trick you by making the product seem like the same price, but you get less of it. And when was the last time anyone bought a gallon of ice cream? But you'll pay the price for a gallon, and probably a lot more now. They're just taking everything away, and yeah, let's just keep hurting each other. And my whole point of that video, the videos I made, controversial or not, I saw something that did not register with me. I'm a very visually oriented person. And you could throw numbers at me, throw mathematics at me, and all the things that schools taught you. If I don't feel that something is right, I trust my instincts more than some stranger's numbers that they type on the internet. But that doesn't mean you have to believe me either. This is not a channel of yes people. When I block somebody, it's somebody that cannot have constructive criticism. I'm not going to tolerate somebody insulting me when they could just communicate. And that doesn't mean, oh, Chris, you're wrong. And that's fine. I have plenty of comments where people say I'm wrong. I don't have a problem with that. But why do you have to insult me? Like, I remember one time I made a video and somebody made fun of the fact that I don't have a long amount of hair on the top of my head. I mean, shit, I'm going to be 46 years old. And I'm not buying hair plugs or anything. And I've always had very thin hair to begin with, even as a teenager. And I'm like, what does that have to do with the topic? And that's what people do, because they can. Why do people sometimes hurt people? Because they can. I mean, being a karaoke DJ, I used to have 7 karaoke books with the list of all the songs that I have. I'm down to 3 because people stole 4 of those books. What are they going to do with a karaoke book that's based on the karaoke system that I own? Sometimes people do things just because they can. Maybe they're bored. Or it just fills an empty void. So I just believe that until we can learn to communicate in a better way, how could we even consider ourselves civilized? I mean, it's almost like the movie Idiocracy is becoming a documentary. And again, I'm not telling people you have to agree with everything. Go look in the world, see what's out there. But if you're going to be so closed-minded, you're never going to learn anything different. You're always going to be programmed. Because trust me, I wish, and I'm sure many people that do videos like that similar to mine, wish that we didn't believe in these things. Wish we could pretend to have our eyes closed and not see things differently. There's a reason why we see it. If I was the only person on the entire planet that saw these things this way, then yeah, it's probably me. But you can't tell other people from their own belief system that they're wrong. You don't have to agree with them, but if you spend all your time hurting others to prove your point for your own thing, that says more about your character than anyone else's. And until we fix that, things aren't going to change. And what I've decided to do is as far as the comments section. I'm not going to shut it off. Of course not. But I think because of the amount of comments I've been getting lately, I mean, the amount number-wise, it's getting to the point where I would literally have to spend hours replying to every comment and every email that I get. So I think I might respond to a couple of comments here and there, but I'm going to let people speak their mind. But here's the thing. If I see a comment where it's going to be like a racial attack or insulting somebody or just fighting to the point where it's abusive, you're not staying on my channel. And if you want to unsubscribe for that, I thoroughly understand, wish you well, and whatever it is you seek, I hope you find it. When I used to throw parties at my house, people respected my house. And if somebody got out of line and started breaking things or throwing things or getting obnoxiously rude to my guests, they got thrown out the door. There's a thing called respect that so few people have anymore. I mean, that's one of the things I love about my family. They were all about respect. But in the typical Italian family, because I am Sicilian Italian, not completely, I'm 100%, I'm Sicilian Italian, Irish, English. You know, you don't start stuff, but you're not afraid to finish it if somebody else comes your way. Defense. It's one of the things about karate they teach. You're not supposed to use it for attack. But if somebody attacks you and they get the worst end of the deal, well, you know, poop happens. And I see all this fighting, all this hatred. When I saw those videos at the Republican National Convention, where there are women being pushed and they're being surrounded and outnumbered, and people were going into their pockets and stealing their hats and taking their possessions, and then all ganging up. Yeah, that's real tough. Ganging up on two women, surrounding them with 30, 40 people. That's real brave. Congratulations, people. It's so disgusting. We want people to care about each other, and yet we cannot speak civilly. And you can only blame so much on your parents, because you know what? You're ultimately responsible for what you choose. If you don't know the difference between right and wrong, and you find pleasure in hurting people in any way, that says everything about you. And karma will always find you. Because remember, like they say, he who laughs last laughs best. And it's just disgusting to see all of the people out there just find it funny to hurt other people. Make them scared. Make them fearful. I hope that's a proud moment. I hope that's an achievement for some people. And it's just embarrassing. So, to the people that come here for the right reasons, and they're here because they want to be here, you know, I'm so proud of the people that I've met over the years. My life has changed in so many different ways because of this channel. Some good and some bad, but I wouldn't change it for the world. It's helped me to grow. It's helped me to look deeper in myself, helped me to appreciate certain things about what I try and do. But there are just some people out there that are just unexplainable. But the beautiful thing, and I could say this to anybody out there, I always say try and take the best out of something bad. The best part about being confronted by abusive people, shall we say, is you can look yourself in the mirror and look in your eyes and say, you know what? I am so glad I'm not them. Heartless people who find entertainment by hurting other people and justify it to make themselves sleep better at night. Thank the lucky stars that you're not them. Because what a life that's got to be. I'm glad I don't understand it in a way. And I'm sure many people don't. And I'm going to read the comments. And I look forward to it. Because I love the positive vibration that I get from people. But here's the thing. When I make my next video, whenever that is, and whatever topic it will be on, you don't have to agree with it. You don't have to like it. But here's my advice. if you don't like me or what I speak about, your best bet is to go find something that brings you joy, that you resonate with. And if coming here to hurt me, insult me, attack me brings you joy, then you have a severe problem that I hope you fix. Because no one should ever get enjoyment out of the suffering of others. Because one day, it may not happen to you, but it may happen to something or someone you love. That's usually how it works. And then maybe you'll understand that karma will always find you. So to those who still listen to this and listen to the whole video, I thank you. The ones that just thumbed it down because they said, oh, Chris is making another video, I got to show the hate. There's nothing I can do about those people. But until we grow as a society and learn that there's actually a better way, there's a lot of hypocritical people. And that's why I refuse to edit my videos. I'm not going to do the jump skips and all that stuff and, do the fancy cuts and all that garbage. I'm real, I'm me. I put out what I feel from the heart. If more people did that, there might be a better chance in this world. I'm not the solution by all means, but I am definitely not part of the problem. And I hope there is someone out there that enjoyed hating, that listened to this or someone else's message and said, you know what, today I think I'm going to grow up. Today I think I'm going to try things differently. And maybe we'll get a better chance of that better world. Because there's a lot of people making judgments about a lot of other people, and they are too scared to look in the mirror. I've always confronted my demons. I always take responsibility for what I do. It's not always easy. You might not even recognize it at times. But, if you're spending your whole life justifying what you do and convincing yourself you're right when you don't even yourself believe it, you're wasting limited energy that keeps you going in life. And if you came to this planet for whatever reason to experience whatever it is, and you spend it hating on others and hurting others, just imagine if you were given a lifetime pass to a carnival and an amusement park, and you could spend your whole life going on whatever rides you want and enjoying the cotton candy and the sodas. Let's just assume they're good for you in this little fictional world. Going on all the roller coasters, no lines, you have the best time in your life. And you spend the whole time making fun of everybody else enjoying their rides. And by the time you realize it, the carnival and the amusement park is about to close, and you didn't even go on a single ride. Because you were too busy worrying about what other people did and tried to ruin their time with your enjoyment, that you never got to experience those rides. That's true regret. I may never be a successful person as far as financially with this fiat currency system, because I'm not willing to do what it takes. I'm not willing to step on other people's toes to make myself better. But I will never look back at my life when I'm about to take my last breath, and I look at all the things I've done in my life. As imperfect as they are, I have no regrets. Because I did what I believed in. I said what I felt in my heart. And I was unafraid to speak my mind. And I will close my eyes that last day and take that last breath with a smile on my face, knowing that I'll be surrounded by people there that love me and care about me. Not people on the internet that make anonymous channels to abuse me and attack me or anyone else. And if you're one of those good people in this world and you've been hurt, you know what? Be proud that you have the feeling to care. Be proud that you're not those people. They have to somehow say, look at me, look at me, look at me. That's why, like, for example, and I can only speak about my channel because I can only have the best experience about my own life, is the same people, albeit them making several fake accounts all the time. I know who they are. They keep making the same accounts. It's just so pathetic. But they're so worried about me paying attention to them. It's like, go do something. Go build a school. Go solve the world hunger. Go cure cancer. If your achievement is life and you get high fives from your buddies that you made a video that temporarily affected me in a negative way for about a half a day, that's not an achievement that's going to go on your tombstone. That's one heck of a legacy. And I could go to my grave knowing I've helped some people. And that's a rewarding thing. And that's something that money will never buy. And I think maybe that's one of the reasons why I haven't won the lottery. And I haven't made it successful. Because I know if I won the lottery tomorrow, let's say I played the lottery and I won $50 million, $5 million, whatever. Me and my wife would be on some island in the Bahamas or somewhere in the Caribbean, or maybe to Hawaii or something. I probably would stay there, and I would probably never make another video again. I'd be like, oh, the hell with this. I don't want to deal with the aggravation anymore. It's me time. There might be people that'd be very disappointed that happened. Don't live life with regrets. Try and treat people the way you want to be treated. Treat others the way you want to be treated. But also, don't be a punching bag. Sometimes it's hard to tell the difference. Sometimes it's hard to find where do you draw the line. All I can say is trust your instincts. And you know what? True strength is one person facing 1,000 haters, 1,000 naysayers, because they need those 1,000 to justify their strength while you can handle them all by yourself. And that's why I do these live chats. I don't need guests as much as I appreciate that all the time. I don't do it to make myself feel like, oh, I need these people to back me up. I talk about this all on my own. That's true strength. And the videos I talked about with the moon and the earth, believe whatever you want. I'm showing what I believe. If you don't like it, that's perfectly fine. But if you're going to insult and attack it because it's different from what you've been programmed to think, then you're basically saying, please tell me how to live and give me a couple of justified numbers so I can feel safe. You're going to be guided and steered in the direction they want you to go. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. If this was getting us closer and closer to a utopia, I would say that's a beautiful thing. But we find more and more that we're being lied to. But we'll keep waving those flags, and the Hillary and Trump supporters are both falling into the trap yet again. And I've warned people about that. You can listen, you can agree, but if you agree with somebody 100%, they got you suckered. So yeah, I like Trump better than I do Hillary. But I know if he makes president, he's not changing the world. He's still going to be rich, and he's going to make plenty of people in the party rich. Because all of these Republicans that have him on the side, I guarantee you, if you read their personal emails, they're not saying nice things about him, but they'll smile to his face. Why? Because he's bringing them money. And all he has to do is say, oh, I love this state, and fill in the blank of whatever state he's going to be in. He's going to say everything that you need. They're going to give him little diagrams, say, okay, Trump, we're hitting the South, so it's more Christian there, so you want to talk more about religion, focus on that. Oh, all right, we're going to be in this area, which is a lot of coal miners, so I want you to focus on that. Oh, and in New York, well, they're more concerned about the economy and losing jobs, so we're going to focus on that. You want to be part of a focus group, so where you could be a cheerleader? Then just go in blindly. I will not go into anything 100% blind, because even my gold and silver, let me tell you something about it. I trust in the fact of my instinct about buying the physical gold and silver, but make no mistake, even if they do create a gold-backed currency, who's going to stop the governments from corrupting the amount of gold and lying about how much gold they have? And then eventually saying, oh, well, you know what, we'll exchange your gold for this paper currency. And they start it all over again. So I'm never 100% into something that I am not directly responsible for. I trust my own instincts. And I believe in my own decisions. Because right or wrong, if I believed in it and it fails, there's nothing I can do about that. Because I can't control the outcome. I can only control what I feel is right. And you should be the same way. So amazingly enough, I still have 15 amazing viewers that are listening to this right now. And I thank you for listening to what I have to say.
And I really hope that one day we care more about being kind to one another, helping a stray animal, doing something that makes somebody smile instead of frowning, instead of making videos that get millions of views insulting others and getting people to all gang up on somebody. Maybe we can do something that inspires. This video will never get a million views. I don't care. I would like it, but it's not going to be the end of the world for me, because if that was the case, I would stop making videos, because I don't have any that are even close to half. I have one video that's about to hit 300,000 views, and that's it. So it's not about the views. It's about the message. And there will be people that don't like me, and whatever I say, you're going to disagree with. You cannot be 100% in one way or another. Because remember, even if you're religious, remember, at one time, even Satan was God's first angel. Think about that. You're told in religion that the devil is the worst thing, and it's the purest of evil. At one point, he was God's first angel. People can change. People have the ability to change in both directions. No one is 100% good. No one is 100% evil. And even if they are, they can change if they choose to. That's the beautiful thing about free will. It's pride and vanity and stubbornness that keeps you stagnant. Be true to yourself. Don't give a damn what anybody else thinks. I just think it's a shame that people have to go out of their way to hurt others for pleasure, amusement, boredom, financial gain, what have you. It's just not nice. Thank you for listening. If you want to make your comments, you'll be more than welcome to. I always appreciate that. If you want to hit subscribe, we'd love to have you here. And just keep in mind that my channel is not going to be what everybody wants it to be. It's going to be my own point of view, my own thoughts, my own beliefs. If you cannot handle somebody that doesn't have an agenda, who isn't trying to be told what to do, and have somebody steer my channel in a certain direction, I don't read from scripts. I don't plan what I talk about. I talk about things when they present themselves to me and they become relevant enough for me to speak about. There is no method to my madness other than it's a method that people may or may not understand. But at least I am true to myself. Whether people believe in that or not doesn't change my heart, and it should never change yours. So thanks for listening. Leave your comments, hit subscribe if you want to, and as far as the thumbs up or thumbs down, do whatever you feel is best. Have a great night, and I'll talk to you soon.